For taking the time to come and participate and celebrate. Nooristan Foundation was established in 1999, but its journey began a few years before that. When this organization was established, it was based on the premise that education is the key for sustainable development and peace. The name of this foundation is Nooristan Foundation, which is one province of Afghanistan. For those of my American friends here, it's kind of like a state that you would have in the US, California versus Arizona. But when this foundation was started, it wasn't just to help one ethnic group or one area of the country. It was because when the journey began, and my father was contacted by an individual who came to the US in the mid-90s and said, there are all these children who want to be educated and they don't have schools. And it was in this remote area. And because my father's parents had come from that area, he felt a duty to try to do something there. And so the name of the foundation started because very few organizations were doing anything in that part of the country. But of course, the entire country had a lot of needs, and it still has many needs. The needs were so great, and we tried to identify projects that would have high impacts for the amount of money that we could possibly spend on it. About 20, depending on the exchange rate, to $22 goes directly to the students. And it's a one-year program. And they learn not only sewing, but some business skills. And those are the number of villages and families that we have helped. It costs about $3,000 to $5,000 a village. The foundation never wanted to rely on any one government. We did not want to take funding and then have to implement a program in the way a foreign government or some politician wanted us to. It's always been people to people.
I met Mariam and I saw her passion, that was the initial steps of the Atash family. Dr. Nadir Atash.
Thank you, Mary, for sharing his life, work, and biography with our guests. So on behalf of the Board of Directors of Nooristan Foundation, you're receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award for your significant contributions over 50 years to the advancement of education in Afghanistan and the United States.
Thank you, friends, family, distinguished guests. I am one who does not deserve any claims. In my life, I've done what I've done, but it was not to be known, to be recognized. It was for a bigger purpose. We all come in this world, spend a few days, and then go make our journey. And I'm ready to make that journey. And I tell this to all of you in all honesty. I'm every day preparing myself for the bigger journey that I'm about to take. And I pray to God that I receive some reward from what I have done. Even if it's a small contribution, it's for a bigger purpose. Thank you, my family, my daughters, my wife, and all family to have supported this organization. I am fortunate that my family really works for Afghanistan. All of us. And this is something that I did not plan. I'm thankful to God for that. Thank you all for participating, and I hope that you in somehow get, whether it's Nooristan Foundation or other organization, to work in terms of charity, humanitarian work, so that we can get our countries back on the right tracks. Thank you so much.
شاهی و شاهی در ما Bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo de verte después.
I मुझे देखना
I always wanted to do some charity work, some humanitarian work for Afghanistan. And in 1990s, the time came that I actually took the first steps in that regard. People of Afghanistan were going through hardship, and so I decided this is the opportune time to start the foundation. Of course, we had to start small because we were doing it through our own funding, through limited funding that we had to start something. The organization kind of evolved. We started in about 1996 funding 3 schools in remote areas of Afghanistan. And then I decided to establish the organization in terms of its charter and registration and getting other members involved in the organization, which happened in 1999. I was an educator myself in Afghanistan, and I worked for many years in that field, and I believe education is very important for the development of any country, especially Afghanistan. And I believe I had seen in my own experiences how eager the children in Afghanistan were in terms of receiving a quality education. So all those factors led me to make the decision to start to focus on education first. I owed it to my people in my country to do whatever I could do for the reconstruction and redevelopment of Afghanistan. I received free education in Afghanistan. I was born and raised in Afghanistan, and I received 4 scholarships to come abroad and pursue my own education. So I owed it to my country and my people to go back and help whatever way I could. And so I decided to go on my own without the support of people or support of other countries. And I did that, and it's at that time that we decided to expand the services of Nooristan Foundation all over Afghanistan. Nooristan Foundation has been involved in providing charitable and humanitarian services all over Afghanistan. We have done more work outside Nooristan than Nooristan because I really believe that all our people are to be treated equally. I'm pleased to say that we have done our best to provide these services all over Afghanistan, and will do so in the future. The biggest achievement is that we have been able to sustain the organization throughout all these years. And sustainability is very important, and thank God we have been able to sustain and expand services to the extent possible. I'm very glad that my immediate family, my daughters, have been integrally involved, and they have spent so much their time and effort to promote the organization. But it has not been only a family affair. We have had prominent people, Afghans and Americans, who have been involved throughout these years in promoting the organization and being part of the board of directors and other duties for the organization.
What you are doing through the Nooristan Foundation is very important work in terms of meeting the challenges and providing for the health of people on the ground in Afghanistan. So I congratulate all of you for being part of this effort, and especially thank those who are for the leadership of the Nooristan Foundation.
And for many years, we tried to provide positive aspects of Afghanistan by having cultural nights and sponsored by one of the embassies, and we have done several one of these which have promoted the culture of Afghanistan. So we would not be on the receiving end of help all the time, but we give back to the international community in the US. So I'm very fortunate that we have had so many prominent and good-hearted people providing charitable services, even if they're small, is a great achievement. And I have a lot of examples, stories that really makes me be proud. And I thank God for providing us the opportunity to be successful in that respect. Afghanistan is in dire needs of humanitarian services, and the way we are providing these humanitarian services through Nooristan Foundation is not to give money to people. We have done that under very limited circumstances, but to educate them and to help them, to empower them to improve their lives. This is very important that they are integral part of the projects. We know that charity work is so important in our religion. Allah has given us command to participate in charity. It's very important, and we need to do our part. I want the organization to be sustainable for many years to come. Second, I want the services of the organization to drastically and qualitatively expand in terms of geographical areas and covering all Afghanistan. Third, I want good-hearted people, including the people from the US, the Americans, and to join us in providing these services for Afghanistan, because these services are really needed for the development of Afghanistan. So I wish that this organization is there for many years until Afghanistan no longer needs these kind of services, and Afghanistan stands on its own 2 feet.